This week's episode of Stardust Crusaders mixes the action with mystery, and after seeing this week's episode, I about went apeshit. This was another great episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I loved the mystery aspect of this episode the most. It kept me guessing throughout, and it also gave me plenty of ridiculous action, hilarious over-the-top moments, and lots of ridiculous gore all over the place. This series is funny because they'll show us a scene of a massive crane slamming into someone's head, going through them, impaling them, and pulling them up into the air with blood squirting all over the place, but they'll still censor the hell out of Jotaro smoking a cigarette. What the hell, Japan? Aside from some of the ridiculous censorship that we saw this week, I liked this episode, mostly because I can't really compare it to anything. I can really say that about the entire JoJo series in general. It's just so incredibly unique, and it's made better by its incredible character designs and great use of color, and you saw that again this week. The main story this week is that Jotaro and his friends are stuck on this massive boat, and on board is a mysterious stand user who is working for Dio. They don't really waste any time in trying to build up who it is. That's actually not the big mystery this week. The big mystery is what the actual stand is, because they're introducing us immediately to this one giant orangutan that's caged up on the ship. And I don't even know if I want to call it an orangutan. That's what they call it, but it's basically a gorilla mixed with Sasquatch. And it's got these real creepy looking human eyes, and that already sort of gives away the fact that there's something not quite right about this thing. And, of course, there is the fact that it is a chain smoker, it likes reading pornography, and I'm sure in its spare time it likes throwing barrels and messing with Italian plumbers. And just like its famous ape brethren King Kong and Donkey Kong, this ape has a fascination with young women, and there's actually this very uncomfortable scene when that one runaway girl is taking a shower, and they spend a lot of time showing her in the nude, and frankly we don't need to see that, she's underage, but she gets accosted by the ape, and I'm guessing the reason they're doing this is just to make her seem all the more vulnerable, and it wastes no time in attacking her, and that's when Jotaro comes in and starts to fight against it. I love how he actually took the lock of the cage and used it almost as brass knuckles to punch it for the first time, and then threw it directly at its face. And this is when we realize, of course, that this ape is actually the person using the stand, but they can't see the stand anywhere. It makes no sense. It's being able to control all these different parts of the ship, and that's when it finally sinks in. Here's the big spoiler, guys. This week, the actual stand is the entire ship that they are on. And at first when I saw this, I'm like, but wait a minute, whoa, that makes no sense. How come everybody was able to see this ship? And basically, they just sort of concluded that there are some people who are able to see certain stands. This is a brand new rule which has been established, and I'm just going to let it slide this time, even though it just came out of nowhere. Because right after this was a great action scene, and it had a really awesome moment. The end of the episode delivers a lot of awesome action from Jotaro and Star Platinum. They're tied up against the wall because the ship is starting to crush everybody on board, and it's almost like literally killing all of them. That's until Jotaro has this plan where he starts to piss off the orangutan, and then he gets really mad, and then he flicks his pin at him, and then the frickin' ape grabs it and jumps at him, and JoJo somehow uses his star finger ability to hit the pin, make it ricochet, and go right through the ape's head, somehow not killing him quite yet, but still freaking him out enough to give up the fight. But JoJo comes in, gives him a flurry of punches, and sends him flying away. This is pretty much the end of the episode where you get to see the actual ship starts to disappear into the water. It's a nice little touch. And at the end of the episode, our characters finally arrive into the beautiful city of Singapore. We also have a few more teases from Dio. There's a little translucent shot of his stand for the first time. I cannot wait to see what his abilities are going to be. And I actually like that they're keeping Dio in shadow so much, even though we know exactly what he looks like. But I like it. It just keeps him all the more mysterious and makes him seem just so much more evil. But what's the rundown on this week's episode? The animation and the artwork this week was pretty good, pretty clean for the most part. All of the character artwork was pretty nice. The action scenes looked really cool. Whenever there were gory moments, they really showed, especially that one crazy crane scene at the beginning of the episode. I still don't know why they feel the need to have to censor JoJo smoking a cigarette. Maybe it's because he's only 17 and he's doing so. But come on, this show airs at like midnight in Japan. I really don't see the need why they have to do that, and they're going to show all that crazy violent shit. I did not expect that the orangutan was actually going to be the user. I actually thought that he was going to be the stand. But then again, I was also questioning that at the beginning. I'm like, but how come the girl can see him? So it was a nice little mystery how they built that up and how the ship actually ended up being the stand. And that just shows They can really do anything for the rest of the series. I'm going to be really trying to pay attention because I hope there's more mystery episodes just like this one. The episode actually also ended with another cliffhanger where they're at this hotel in Singapore and there's this one creepy little doll just hanging out in the corner, and that's when we get our to be continued screen, Walk Like an Egyptian time. And that's pretty much it. I liked this episode. It was a little slow in some parts, and I really feel there's some unnecessary censoring in some parts of it, so I'm going to knock it down to a 9 out of 10, but everything here was really good. It was very different from some of the other episodes. It was a nice little mystery episode. I'm kind of hoping for a little more character development in the future, though, because we still have that new character by the name of Polnareff, who just joined like 2 episodes ago, and I still don't really know anything about the guy. However, it looks like that one crazy chick who's actually working for Dio, I think her name is Enyaba, she's the weird, like, witch lady. She has 2 right hands, and she claims that her son is one of the stand users who they're going to send to attack, and he also has 2 right hands. This is the person that killed Polnareff's sister, so this is obviously some pretty big shit here. So there was a lot of good stuff in this episode. I really liked it. So 9 out of 10 from me. Check it out if you're into action anime series with some nice mystery and some really great characters with an incredible art design which cannot be matched. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders, 9 out of 10. Check it out. If you guys saw this week's episode of Stardust Crusaders, I would love to hear what you thought about it, and you can tell me with your comments below. What did you think of this week's mysterious episode, and what's going to happen with that weird, creepy doll that we saw at the end of this week's episode? Remember, guys, before you leave, make sure and hit the like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. It's really, really easy to do, and it helps out our videos tremendously. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, make sure and do so you can see all of our latest anime and manga reviews. You can also check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links to those in the description box below. Remember, guys, before you go see the brand new Godzilla movie that's coming out this week, check out my video, the top 10 favorite Godzilla movies. Maybe it will change after seeing this movie. Who knows? Maybe it'll break into the top 10. So check it out before or after the movie. It's all good stuff. So, I'll see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.